They ever remain wakeful and keep their home guarded by beating and driving away the 5 thieves from it. O myself, by the Guru's guidance, meditate on the Lord's name. Myself, do only those deeds which lead thee on to the Lord's path. By the Guru's guidance, serene melody arises and the pain of ego is cast off. The Lord God's name abides in one's mind and he spontaneously sings the God's praises. They who by the Guru's teaching keep the Lord enshrined in their heart, beauteous look their faces. Here and hereafter they abide in immense bliss, and contemplating the Lord God, they swim across. In egoism, man cannot remain awake and his devotion to God is not accepted. The egocentric finds no shelter at the Lord's portal as he does deeds involved in duality. Accursed is the food and accursed the dress of those who bear love to worldly attachments. They are the worms of ordure and sink in ordure. In death and birth they suffer ignominy. They who meet the true Guru, I am a sacrifice unto them. May I join their company and remain united with them by the true name, thereby get absorbed in the true Lord. Through perfect destiny the Guru is attained. By no other effort can one obtain him. By the Guru's guidance comes serenity, and through the holy word is burnt egoism. Myself, hasten, take the Lord's shelter. He is capable of doing everything. Nanak says, may I never forget the Lord's name. Whatever he does, that alone happens. Vipas, Parbati, 5th Guru, Ashtapati. The creator of all is one, the only one. He is realized by true Guru's grace. Man involves in mother, father, brother, son, and wife packs the fare of joy and pleasure. His mind is entangled in the sweet worldly love. The devotees seeking the Lord's virtues are the prop of my life's breath. The unique Lord is the inner knower of the hearts. He alone is my support and he alone is my protection. He, the Supreme Lord Master, is over the head of all the kings. I have broken off with the deceitful Mammon, she-serpent. The Guru has told me that she is false and fraudulent. From her face she seems sweet, but when eaten she is bitter. With the Lord's name nectar my mind is tiated. With avarice and worldly love I have cut off my ties. The gracious Guru has rescued me from them. These cheats have ruined my homes. The compassionate Guru has saved and protected me. With lust and wrath I have no dealings. Ever since I have listened with my ears the Guru's instructions. Wherever I look, I see these villainous goblins. My Guru God has saved me from them. I have widowed 10 women, 10 sense organs. The Guru has told me that these relishes are like the fire of sins. On associating with these goes to hell. My Guru has saved me by attaching me in the love of the Lord. I have abandoned all counsels with egoism. The Guru has told me that in ego man becomes foolish and obstinate. This ego is homeless and never attains home. The Guru has saved me by attuning me to the Lord. From these worldly people I have alienated myself. Within one home these both cannot live. By holding leopards of Guru I have come to the Lord. O Lord, all-knowing, do me justice. The Lord smiled and thus pronounced his judgment. All the demons of evil he placed at my service. Thou art the Lord, this house of the body is thine. Nanak says the Guru had thus made the pronouncement. Prabhati, 5th Guru. Within the man's mind is wrath and great pride. Indulging in these he performs worship with great ostentation. After taking bath, he makes ritual marks on his body, but the dirt of his mind does not ever depart. In this way, no one has ever found the Lord. He paints Vishnu's marks on his body, but his mind is lured by wealth. He commits sins under the influence of 5 demons. By bathing at the holy places, he says that all his sins have been washed off. He commits them again without any fear. The death's courier binds the sinner and takes him to his city. These putting on ankle bells beat symbols, but within their mind is deception, and they wander like demons. By destroying the whole, the snake is not killed. The Lord who created thee knows all things. You, O man, perform fire penance and wear ochre colored robes. Smitten by calamity, you run away from home. Leaving your country, you wander abroad. However, the five pareha you have brought with you. You have your ears torn and beg or steal crumbs. You beg from door to door and are not striated. You have abandoned your own wife and cast evil eyes on another's woman. By wearing ritual garbs, the Lord is not attained, and one becomes very miserable. Some, abjuring speech, take vow of silence, yet because of the desire within them, they are made to wander in species. By discarding food, the body suffers pain. One not realizing the Lord's will is engrossed in worldly love. Without the true Guru, no one has attained the supreme state of bliss. Ask, if you may, all Vedas and Simritis. The egocentric does useless deeds which are like a house of sand that has no stability. Unto whomsoever the Lord of universe becomes compassionate, he ties the Guru's word to his lappet. Out of millions, very rarely a saint is seen. Nanak says, in his company one is ferried across. If one has good fortune, then only he obtains the sight of such saint. Such a person is himself saved, and he saves his entire family as well. Prabhati, 5th Guru, by contemplating the name, all the sins are annulled, and the account papers of the righteous judge are torn off. By joining the holy congregation, I have obtained the Lord's name elixir, and the Supreme Lord is absorbed into my heart. By meditating on the all-pervading Lord God name, I have obtained peace. Thine slaves, O Lord, seek the shelter of thine feet. The Guru has shown me the door of salvation, and my coming and going are ended, and the darkness of spiritual ignorance has been dispelled. With the Lord's loving adoration, my mind and body are ever imbued. Then alone could I realize my Lord, when the Lord made me realize him. He, the Lord, is pervasive in all the hearts. Without him there is no other second. He has cut off my hostility, opposition, fear, and doubt, as he, the Lord, holiness incarnate, his law has fulfilled. He has pulled me ashore out of the very strong currents. I, who was separated from the Lord since my birth, he has now united me with himself. Instead of worship, penance, and self-mortification, I contemplate the Lord's name. My Lord has redeemed me by his glance of grace. Bliss, peace, and salvation abide at the place where the Lord, master, slave live. The Lord has become very pleased with me, and my disharmony with him of many births has ended. Burnt offerings, gratuitous feasts, penance with body reversed, worship and taking bath at millions of pilgrim places do not equal enshrining even for a moment the Lord's lotus feet in the heart. By meditating on the Master of the universe, all the affairs are resolved. The highest of the high is the Lord's abode. God's devotees fix their attention on the Lord. I long for the dust of the slave of the Lord's slave. Brimful with all the powers is my beloved Lord. The loved Lord, my father, mother, is ever near me. My friend and companion, you are my mainstay. His slaves the Lord takes by the hand and make them his own. Nanak lives by meditating on the Lord, the treasure of merits. Pipas, Prabhati, the hymns of Sire Saint Kabir. The creator of all is one, the only one. He is realized by true Guru's grace. My fear of birth and death has ended as the Lord has manifested his love for me. The divine light has dawned and